Are you being trolled? Has your reputation been damaged?
I just want to say that if any of you
by false accusations,
I know who you should call.
hateful speech?
Don't mess with me, man. Don't hate.
Have you suffered from being trolled? Do you want justice? I can help. Hello there. Welcome to Trolled.
Cameras off.
Go to trolledsos.com. You know, it's you guys, the sponsors, that really make this happen.
She got a smile that seems to me reminds me of child.
Yeah. And he was so specific. But I'm not one to question. I had to sharpen them a little extra to make sure they would go in. Cameras off. Are we under enough control that I can take off the gag now? Food.
I will find them, and I will help you get justice.
And if I stay too long, I probably break down.
He'll live.
And I will make a regret.
He lost a tooth.
The day they troll you.
Cameras off.
Let me show you how to make the fortune you have always dreamed about.
Check this out.
I'll show you how to make all kind of money.
Yeah, boy!
Will make you financially independent.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's a secret for you to make millions.
Here's a secret for you to make millions.
Dude, that was a lot. My mind is kind of like recuperating from all that.
Yeah. So for everybody who tuned in on time, what you were watching was the brilliant preview of the new movie Trolled.
Woo!
Movie had spice.
It looks very creepy, and it looks like scary enough to be like, okay, I don't know if I want to watch it because I'm a big baby. And I'm not into scary movies that much, but I will watch this and just be freaked out for like 2.5 weeks.
All right, close your other window. Add the one with YouTube. There you go.
Yeah.
That way, no freezing. There you go.
No freezing. Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right. So now, speaking of that movie, so the reason why we played that preview for you guys is we actually have the creator of that film on the show tonight, John Fu. I'm really excited.
Yes.
I'm super excited to have him on to talk to him about this project and to ask him about how he got into filmmaking, so on and so forth. But yeah, that looks as scary as anything I've ever seen. The preview, didn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, from the you lost a tooth, you're like, ooh, that's pretty bad. Dude. All those little scenes and stuff, and that's only 1.5 minutes of it too. So we're gonna let him tell more about it. We just got to say welcome to the Chino brothers, and not only is he a movie dude. He did the Core Live. We're going to talk about that too. So if you're in Bakersfield, you remember the Core Live, and you know a lot of great DJs, MCs actually went through the Core Live, an internet radio station. And we actually did a club together, kind of, and we'll talk about that too, because that's going back in the day too. So are we ready to bring him on?
I am, but I also want to ask him about like Cannes Film Festival and all that other type of stuff and see what he knows about that type of thing. But yeah, I'm ready to go live with John Fu. I want to talk to him about all the things you said, but specifically this creepy Trolled movie we just saw the preview for. Wasn't that a creepy preview?
Oh yeah.
People tune in on the Chino brothers, but probably like, man, Halloween's already over. Don't be showing us this creepy stuff. We had to show you this masterpiece. All right, bring on John Fu Adelaide. Oh wait, hold on. No, not yet. Hold on.
I'll intro while you're getting ready.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
Almost.
Join me and Mike, the Chino brothers, in welcoming John Fu.
Big audience.
Fu.
Wow.
That's like, wow, standing ovation. Hey,
Oh,
look at
going-
that. That's the first
going
time.
extra long minute, yeah.
First time. All right, easy, audience. Okay.
No, don't throw panties. Don't be throwing panties.
Those
It's
are
a family
boxers.
show. Family show. Oh, okay.
Woo.
Our first 4 seasons, I kept telling one of our guests, I'm like, oh, eventually we'll have an applause button, and then we just never did. And then finally, I was like, why don't we just add it to the program? But that means I got to lean forward and use my computer. Like, it was John Fu, man. What's
John
up, man? We just
Fu.
saw that
This is
preview.
awesome.
That preview was spooky, creepy, everything you want in a horror film. What do you say, Adley?
Definitely creepy. Definitely looking forward to maybe, I don't know. I was saying it earlier. I don't know if I can watch scary movies that scary because it looks pretty creepy, John. I'm a little afraid.
It's definitely very creepy. Very creepy. It's we call it an experimental horror film. So, it's it actually just won Best Experimental in the Las Vegas Film Festival and Best Thriller. So
Isn't the Las Vegas Film Festival the porno actors? Is that the one that it won? Is that the kind of film you're?
Hey, it's
trying to
call it a
see our
win no
audience?
matter what. It's a win.
it's a win. A win is a win. Exactly.
I got you.
Oh, that's
Now,
awesome.
Were you always into horror when you were a child, John Fu, or is this something
You
just
know
wanted to
what?
explore?
I've never really I'm not a horror fan per se. I dig more like suspense thriller stuff. But this was kind of just something that just came to actually it happened to my partner, and it's actually about people. If you were able to, somebody's on any of your social media and they're trolling you, imagine a world where you could hire this dude and he would go and find the person trolling you and capture you and torture you.
The Chino brothers have trolls.
Oh, I believe it.
Man.
I mean, the Chino brothers are trolls. We'd be in trouble. Are you kidding me? Jake Paul would hire that fool right away. He'd be like, make them stop talking about me and say, hey, man, I can't help it.
Dude, it's such a great concept because
I was
trolling
about to ask that. Yeah,
affects everybody. Man, that's genius.
It really does. Yeah, it really does. It was, we were talked to by a bunch of people, and people once we started talking to people about it, we started hearing stories, man, messed up stories. So it's kind of been like this weird place of for some people, you could tell that they've been wanting to get stuff off their chest. So when they hear about the film, they're like, you know what? I have this story. And they tell you messed up stories, man. I mean, we were in a conference in Las Vegas for NFTs, and this lady that was sitting next to us was actually for real. Can I hire this dude? Does he?
Oh, man.
Yeah. And we were like, nah, it's just a movie. But I think she took the trailer, because we made the trailer look like it was an ad for the guy.
Yeah.
So we were trying to make it unique as well, because wanted it. It's are you being trolled? It just reminded of those old school commercials.
Yeah.
Those old school infomercials. So we made it look, kind of like that, and then we showed all the clips. And I think she took it a little too serious, because she was serious. She was telling us her story too, and it was messed up, man. You're like, golly, man, people are just evil and mean.
I think that could be really good guerrilla marketing for you guys. Just having people, put their troll story up and tag you, or hashtag you, or stitch you on TikTok. I don't know how you do it. You'd have to talk to your guys about it, but putting together a chain of this, because I mean, being trolled, I've been trolled at my shop, but I'm kind of one of the people that's like, dude, I don't have time for the internet.
I don't got time.
Man.
I don't got time.
The internet's not really a place to me. Like it's a place where I try to sell stuff, and it's a place where I have a show with Adley. And after that, I think we're good,
Well, you know what? We actually are launching an NFT for the film. And since we are launching an NFT for the film, one of the things that we thought was pretty unique. I don't know if you guys know anything about NFTs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it was one of those things that we jump into these spaces kind of like this, you know, like a podcast on Twitter, and they have these spaces, and we're like, imagine, you know, you start hearing about somebody being trolled and everybody changes their default pic to our troll logo, and they go and, like, you know, they stand with you in a way, you know, so it's not aggressive.
Yeah, that's clever.
Not aggressive, but, you know, if somebody was to reach out to us, that's what we were kind of trying to create, this this platform, I guess, on Twitter, amongst the people that do end up getting our NFT for the film.
That is clever. Yeah, that is clever.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, and then we actually, the name of the film, we actually changed it to Trolled SOS, hashtag Trolled SOS, because we want people to use that hashtag, you know, like, hey, I need help. So we have changed even the name of the film to Trolled, or hashtag Trolled SOS, just for that reason specifically.
Nice.
Dude, are people hitting you up? I mean, you said you saw this girl in Vegas, like, live, but then they're like, Trolled SOS, like, for reals?
People, you know what? It's starting to word is getting out. Word is getting out. So it's interesting because we have had a couple people in some of these Twitter spaces, you know, like, hey, you know, can I send you a DM? Can I DM you real quick? I got something going on. And, you know, we didn't know how much like, people really just want somebody to hear them out and be like, I got your back, you know. And that's what we were trying to do, is create something like that, so people do feel like, you know what, somebody understands me, somebody's gonna stand up with me, and I don't gotta feel like I'm taking this on by myself.
It's kind of an anti-hero vibe. It's kind of like, hey, he's a good guy, but he's gonna get dirty. And
it really is.
Trolling and stuff.
Yeah, he is definitely the anti-hero.
What's that show you watch?
Too.
What's that show you watch, Adley, with the murder? What's
Dexter.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dexter.
Dexter. Yeah. Like, he's bad, but he, you know, it's only to bad people that he does this stuff too. So
yeah, I was actually watching just this new show, just started like this week, called Hand to God, or Hand to God, something like that. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And it's you ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, Clay is the main character. So it's that dude playing this dude that he's like hearing voices, and like, but he goes and is like, you know, dealing with people that have messed up somebody else, you know, that's related to him. I don't want to give you too much about the show, but it was that, you know, whole premise. This dude, he's just, you know, the anti-hero in a way, you know, like vigilante type shit stuff.
I don't know, man. He's jacking people up, though, man. That's a little far, just because you said somebody has a big butt, or, you know, whatever. You know, I mean, come on.
Well, the crime has to fit the punishment.
I mean, this dude's punishing these people bad. I don't know what kind of trolling they're doing.
It's a live stream, and people are commenting, and
you know what? It's exactly like if you were to watch this show, but imagine watching your show on a dark web, and you guys are torturing somebody. I
can't imagine that part.
It is intended. It's intended to look like a dark web show, and you'll see like a chat room pop up, and you'll see people like, yeah, use the hammer, yeah, do this, yeah, do that. Like, we've made it look like a live show that you just kind of, you know, that train wreck on the side of the road, and you're just like, realize,
it's a horror film.
Gotta watch.
That's how it goes. In horror films, you got to be clever, because everybody's doing their thing. But I think this is a very clever premise for starters, and then I think it's a very, very clever vigilante. Like, it's because it's very, it's current. You know what I mean? It's current in a manner that, like, people don't even recognize is current. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and to add to that too, Mike, it's just the fact that there's no rules really on it. I mean, it's still the wild, wild west. I mean, they're starting to crack down, and then it's starting to get in political sense or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, it's lawless. The internet,
it really is.
The social media, and just watching this, you're thinking like, oh, now there's consequences for stuff that you're doing, because we know before, okay, like you say something bad, you say something, you know, whatever that people don't like, and it's offensive. Oh, you get cut off, you get shadow banned, you get whatever. But it's like, oh, now no, there's real consequences now.
You know what? there's a statistic. I don't know what the statistic is, and you might, John. I think it's 1 in 9 girls under the age of 16 get cyberbullied on a daily basis. Something horrible like that. Yeah, that's how come my kids don't have those phones, man.
You know what? That a lot of the women that we started finding out that are in that NFT world, it's a lot of women, grown women, that are just being trolled like aggressively. Not even the sexual stuff. It's it's literally like you don't know what you're talking about. Blah blah, like aggressive stuff, dude. And it was really weird to like hear these grown women and like like. We need somebody like this. In a weird way, we need somebody like this.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that too. Hey, we got a couple shout outs. Can we throw up real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
But I don't want to miss out on these two. EVP checking in.
What up, EVP? Good to see you.
Good evening, fellas. John, are you giving out a shout out to somebody? Serenity Games, Billy Duncan.
I reached out, to my sister and a couple people.
Yeah, Bobby Cloud checking in. Nice.
Yes, Bobby. That's
Cloud.
the partner right there. That's the partner.
Okay, right on. Shout out to Bobby too. So he's part of Pinwheel.
Yes, he is my partner on all of that. And
Very
Bobby
cool.
Actually, believe it or not, Bobby actually plays the troll in the film.
Oh wow!
Let me get his picture. I could see it. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know, man. That's
his profile, but yeah, looks serious.
That movie looks creepy.
Great job.
I think it's very current. I think it's something that needs to be addressed. The only problem is, John Fu, if that thing takes off like a cult classic, which I think it's got all the juice to do, if you get a copycat, they're gonna blame it on you, dude. You know what I mean? That's the only problem I see in this whole scenario, because that thing has the juice. Everything that a cult classic has, I saw in that preview. Now, if there's nothing but garbage in between all them scenes, sorry, I can't do nothing for you. I haven't seen the film. But if it's as good as that preview was, man, you got a cult classic right there, I think.
No, we definitely feel the same way. We're kind of the people that have watched it have compared it to like Saw meets Blair Witch.
Oh man,
so there's definitely some point of view POV shots that we use. We put a camera right on him, so you'll see some of the torturing right there in your face, and you're watching people cry and scream. It was funny because we screened it at the Maya in Bakersfield and invited some friends and some cast and crew for a little private screening. And when people walked out, like they were just kind of like, it was like seeing like I said, like a train wreck on the side of the road, and you're just like, did you see that? Like, when you kind of get that idea, like you saw a body on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And so like people walked out, and I remember Bobby was like, he goes, like nobody really had anything to say. And I was like, just give them a minute. I said, because nobody's ever watched a movie like this. Like it's completely in its own lane. There is nothing like it. I promise you, when you watch it, you'll definitely be like, I have never, ever seen anything like that. Yeah, and then finally we ended up at Jerry's Pizza to hang out with everybody afterwards. And people were like, dude, whoa, how about this? How about that? How did you guys do this? How did you guys do that? Like there was just so many things that like people just had to digest it. Like they really had to sit there and be like, what did I just watch? Because there's nothing like it.
Yeah. I remember getting invited to that, by the way, but I had my 11-year-old son with me.
Totally.
And I was like, oh yeah, we probably better not.
All right. So here's my idea, Adley. You and I will do ayahuasca, and then we'll watch this film together in a room filled with knives. How about that? You and me,
knives, hammers, and
a room filled with knives, and we'll take some ayahuasca, and then we'll just watch this movie.
That would be creepy, man.
See if there's a 3D version. Like, hey, you made it in 3D at Jump Fu or what? Nah, man, I ain't gonna see the movie, John. I'm sorry, bro. It looks too creepy for me.
EVP's down. He wants to watch it. He says
like,
sounds dope. So
I could not see that movie. I don't know what you're trying to make excuses about putting Kate up there, bro. Like I would be like, I didn't have my son.
It was
I ain't
me. I was like, I'm scared.
That movie looks creepy, dude. That movie looks like it's gonna mess my brain up, bro. But that's how you're supposed to do it. If you're gonna make a horror movie, you better do it like that.
It was a lot of fun, man. Like it, we actually even screened it in Cannes, and a friend of mine watched it, and he came out of the theater and he kind of paced around for like 5 minutes, and it was just like you saw him just like really thinking in his head. He was like, and here's the other thing is we shot this film in 8 hours in one day, a feature film shot it in 8 hours, and the cast did not have a script. So everything that you see in the film is improvised on the spot.
God. Wow.
So the actors, funny story, the actors came from LA except for Bob. Bob, me and him rehearsed, basically how to get from A to Z. Here's how we start, here's how we're going to end. And he rehearsed for 3 weeks straight, just night after night, just kind of figuring out how to work that room and not make it look boring. And trying to make sure he hit, main topic points. And then the cast, when they showed up, we shot it at Bobby's law office downstairs in his basement. His basement is creepy as
anyways.
It's creepy anyways. Yeah. And then, then the actors showed up and they were like, okay, we're at a lawyer's office. And then we're like, okay, you got to come down these stairs. And they come down the stairs and, there's clear plastic all over the floor.
Oh man, that's not good.
Sign this waiver.
There's a chair in each corner, and our makeup artist, we were like, okay, look, you're gonna be the one that ties everybody up. Like they're blindfolded, they're gagged, they're tied to chairs, and they didn't know. And at lunch, I guess they had all confessed that they were they all pinged their location to family and friends because they did not know what the hell was about to go down.
No,
they knew it was a horror film. They knew it was a horror film, but you drive from LA, you drive an hour and a half away from
Bakersfield,
home. You drive to Bakersfield, you walk in this, little office, you go down these stairs.
Think about this, hold on. A lot of actors are not from LA. You know what I mean? Because if it's like, okay, this dude's from West Covina, he's going to Bakersfield. No big deal. Guy's from La Puente, he's going to Bakersfield. No big deal. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where not like
Iowa,
Aberdeen, South Dakota. Yeah, I'm from Aberdeen, South Dakota. I live in Pasadena in the safest neighborhood. I'm trying my hardest to make it in Hollywood while I work at Johnny Rockets as a waitress. And now this opportunity came up for me to go to this town I'm not really familiar with called Bakersfield. And now here comes John Fu, like, all right, come on. This way, guys, don't worry about
down here.
And you know what's funny is one of the guys was from New Zealand on a visa trying to become an actor.
Yeah.
One of them was from Utah who was trying, just like these. You're very right. Like these people were.
Think how scary that is, though. Because, like, once again, I'm from West Covina, right? So, like, Adelaide is like, hey, come down to Bakersfield. I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, when I go home to LA, I just come up to Bakersfield, see Adelaide. Okay, but I'm not like, what is this desert? What? Oh my goodness! It's like, okay, I know what this is already. You know what I mean? But if you're not from Los Angeles and you live in LA. And it's like, and I saw some Caucasians in those videos, so I'm assuming that these people are Caucasian, right? So it's like,
oh yeah,
you're not, dude. You probably are around the non-brown people, which I'm always like, how do you do that in LA? Like, how can you, like, where is that? Like, cause you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And I'm even gonna throw this out there too, because not being from Bakersfield, but I've been here for like 15, 16 years now. But it is a different attitude in Bakersfield. I mean, it's Corn came from here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that theme almost. Like it's a scary, eerie kind of town that's different from anything like that I've ever been to, and it's just it fits. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa.
John Fu, is Bob's law office in Oildale? Because that was still the deal for these cats. I'll tell you that right now, baby.
Just make a ride at the Tweaker right there.
Dude, yeah. So I came to visit Adelaide one time. What's going on, Marcus? And I end up stopping in Oildale, and I'm walking up and down the street, and an Indian homeless man. This dude's like 60 years old from India, like has the accent, everything. Homeless man, like drunk wino, comes up to me. I'm like, man, I've never even seen one of you before, bro. Like, you guys are usually dentists or something. Like, what happened to you, man? And he was just kind of like, yeah, man, Oildale, baby. That's what happened to me. I'm like, I need out of here before it gets on me.
That's definitely Oildale. And that's when you talk about people walking out of your movie too, it'd be like there's something on you and it's just got to kind of slowly fall off. Like, okay.
Yeah, bro, that ain't for me, bro.
It's like, whoa.
Like that movie sounds like it's gonna change your molecular structure of your brain, bro. That's how crazy that movie sounds to me, dude.
It's definitely our strangest one that we have made to date.
Well, congratulations, because from the preview, it looks phenomenal. And for those of you that didn't get to see the preview, just rewind to the beginning of the episode. But don't let the kids be in the room when you do it, because I promise you this, even that, man, woo, that's scary.
Yeah. Hey, is there an actual release date on it, or you still shopping it?
Actually, we just went to the film market last week, which is why wasn't able to do the show last week. And there's this hotel in Santa Monica that just fills up with every distribution company from all over the world. So you go there and you take your films, and these companies look at them and they tell you, okay, yeah, I can take it. Yeah, let me see the film. Let me see your trailer. So that's where that's a big film market. Then there's the Cannes film market. And I think there's like one or two more other markets that happen throughout the year.
The streaming the distributor one, is Crackle there and Tubi and all those guys?
They go there to buy the films from the distributors. So like the very first couple of days, people like Netflix. Like if you see you might see any entertainment news like last week, I see them. So I don't know if you see them even on Yahoo. Like the new film just got picked up by Lionsgate. Like there was a lot of news last week because people were buying films all over AFM last week.
So okay. How does it work to become a filmmaker? So like you and your partner Bobby, like you guys are just like, dude, let's just get a camera and start doing stuff, or how does this work?
I actually started I used to be an artist. So I was on a record label called Greenside Records a long time ago with Lighter Shade of Brown and a couple other people.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I used to be a rapper. I used to travel and tour and did all that.
Really? What was your MC name first?
My name back then, I went by the Sick One.
The Sick One. That's a pretty dope name.
Yeah.
Did you do like a lot of lowrider shows and stuff, or what?
The label, we did a lot of lowrider shows and things like that. We went everywhere. We went all over the place.
Where are those videos?
There is. You know what? I don't know who has that stuff. I don't know who has that stuff.
That's an untapped. That's an untapped fountain right there. Lighter Shade of Brown. Nobody's ratted them out yet. Like everybody else been ratted out. You know what I mean? Everybody else has had a documentary about them. Blah blah. Lighter Shade of Brown. Still, nobody's ratted them out. If you got the goods, John Fu, bring it forward.
Well,
you know what I
mean? DWTX.
I got great stories.
One of them passed though. One did pass. So rest in peace.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I bet.
Give us a lighter shade of brown
90s,
story,
right?
real
Early
quick.
90s.
You want a lighter shade of brown story?
Who doesn't want a lighter shade of brown
All
story?
right, I'll give you one. I'll give you one good one.
Let me tell you this.
Give you one good one.
Let me tell you this. Whoever doesn't want a lighter shade of brown story should not ever watch our podcast in the history of the world. What do you say, Adley?
Agreed.
Okay, go for it.
All right. The one that just was always one of the funniest things. Like, I don't know, you don't get to see you're touring with people, on a regular basis. Like, we had a house out in Silmar, California. So it was a 5-bedroom house. One room had a studio, another room, the CEO lived in one room, and then the other rooms we kind of just turned them into like an army barracks. So like we had everybody had a cot, everybody had their luggage under their thing. Like we were there and we were just there to work, and that was it. And so the Robert and DWTX and ODM are staying at the house with us. And one night, they start arguing. And as they're arguing over a girl. And like, they were like, I guess they had shared the same girl at some point.
Wait.
So,
Hold on a sec. Were they famous already?
Oh, yeah.
Why are they sharing girls? There's not enough girls to go around.
I think it was like early, like this was early stuff between them. You could tell, they like it was a joke, and that's what it started out as. Shut up. Hey, how about so and so? Shut up. How about so and so? And then it just kept escalating, and little alcohol and things like that. So tempers start getting a little high, and. Yeah, so I'll just say this: we had to step in the middle of it and be like, okay, everybody, we're all just talking, we're talking mess, we're having a good time, So that was one of the funniest stories I remember between the both of them with us.
Dude, and in Sylmar is just north of LA, but a big music scene and a big
fun neighborhood,
adult movie scene too, right? Isn't that Sylmar?
Well, I don't know what was happening in our neighborhood, but yes.
Anybody else that we might know that lived in that house with you?
Not well. Well, we had a lot of visitors that used to come there. We used to do a Sunday barbecue, and so like everybody would you'd go into the kitchen and like Kid Frost is getting tattooed by somebody.
Oh, that's
cool. A couple of the actors like from American Me would hang out. So we had actors, artists, all kind producers. Everybody would just come through on Sunday, and it wasn't always like everybody all together. It was just like a random time and be like, oh, so and so's here. Oh, and they brought so and so. So it was just kind of one of those spots that we just turned into, this place of just that, people that we were all doing something. Everybody was doing their own work, and everybody was like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? Oh, we're gonna have a barbecue. Oh, dope. Can we come through? Yeah, for sure. Come through.
Wait, now, did you grow up with Lighter Shade of Brown, or okay.
I met them through the label.
So here's my question. Are you good like that? Because I'm Adley. Are you good like that? I don't like meeting celebrities. I don't like being in a room with celebrities. I don't like being around celebrities. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah, but I feel like Lighter Shade of Brown, one of their big songs was My Homies, and it was about chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're probably cool to kick it with for the most part. And you guys were there really to like make music. I mean,
yeah,
first and
it
foremost,
was a lot of work, but at times we did, you're traveling around and you're traveling, you're doing shows, and I mean, you're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? If anybody says they didn't have a good time while they're out there on the road, outside of being away from your family, which sucks. But we were out there and we were having a blast, man. It was so much fun.
How'd you even get picked up by the label?
Actually through a friend of mine. I was doing shows here in Bakersfield, and this group from Sacramento ended up showing up. And I forgot I was doing a show somewhere, and I met this guy named Junebug Slim. And he actually, I ended up meeting Junebug. And then Junebug did he was really working for them, but he was also working at Black Market at the time. So he was like a marketing dude at Black Market. Brother Lynch Hung and X-Rated and all those guys. So he was there. And then I guess he heard somehow that Greenside was looking for somebody for their marketing and stuff like that. And he ended up going over there. Me and him had already been doing music together and kind of, doing tracks and stuff like that. And then he just had an idea. He's like, hey, let's put our money together and let's take my album to Greenside and see if they'll take it. They took it, and they, next thing you know, they're like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm an artist as well. So they took me on as well. And that was from there. It just went crazy.
Now, and Mike, let me just be clear. He was an artist, not a rapper.
Ah,
Artist.
Artiste.
That's
Now-
dope though, dude. I did not know any of this, man.
Yeah.
Who are some of the coolest guys you guys toured with? Did you guys tour with like anybody fun from that era?
I mean, we did a lot of stuff with Bash and Too Deep, and
Oh, that's
all those
cool. Yeah,
guys that were
very
just in that same little circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adina Howard and things like that.
Oh,
Like
that
we're
is
just
cool.
yeah. So we were in that group of people like that.
Did you guys ever do anything with South Park Mexican?
We did not. No, I don't remember even meeting him.
Oh,
Little Rob, Mr. Capone, any of those
Yeah,
guys?
Little Rob. We met Mr. Capone a couple times here and there. And it was funny. I remember one time we were doing a show in LA and I ran into Nick and Eric. And it was one of those things of like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I'm with the label. And they're like, oh, you're with the label? With Lighter Shade of Brown to them? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, dude, like, you don't realize until you start running into people from your hometown and you're like, hey, like, what are you doing here? And then they kind of figure out what you're doing there. It's like, oh, okay, we're part of the same club.
Yeah, because Nick and Eric, the Baker boys, they were starting to bubble about that same time, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They were doing real good.
Were they out of Bakersfield yet, doing like Power 106?
Oh, yeah, they were already in LA doing the morning show at Power and all that.
Okay, man, I did not know any of this too. So John started as an artist on the
Yes.
scene. Doing
So wait,
wow.
did the
Blown
Baker
away.
Boys show you guys extra love because you were from Bakersfield or no?
Not really, because like I said, we just ran into him at a show. So I was never tried to use things like that. Like, Mikey, I don't remember if you guys know Mikey on the mic. He used to be in Bakersfield, but he was down there in Phoenix doing his thing.
Sounds familiar, but
Along out with Big Willie, Casey Walker, so they were doing their thing. Excuse me, real quick. Hey,
like
give me that hand,
he's
yeah,
on the Chino
sorry.
Brothers. Come on, man.
So there was a lot of resources, but didn't really try to I wanted to do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? What I was accomplishing at that time, I was trying to do it on my own.
God
Yeah,
bless
Baker
you, man.
Boys.
I'm
Go ahead, Mike.
dragging on to
Go ahead.
everybody's coattails, bro. God bless you, though. But if there's some nut hairs to swing on, show me where to grab, baby. That's what I'm saying.
And Baker's boys, when you watch this too, you got to respect that too, because I'm sure Baker boys would get hit up left
Oh,
and
I'm
right
sure-
with
I'm
demos.
I'm sure
I'm
they were,
at
man.
that time, man. Hey, remember me from Bakersfield? Yeah, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
But you were
man.
hot. That's different, though. You know what I mean? Like if you're just
Yeah, blown up.
if you're just some booty rapper at the club, it's like, bro, please stop playing me this. Don't do this anymore. You're embarrassing both of us. I'm not gonna play
You're
your record.
embarrassing both of us. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You weren't that like you were.
No,
legit.
You're on the label.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
have a poster, an album, or CD somewhere. You got to have something.
Man, I have stuff online, that because we created a group when we were on Greenside Records. So it was me, DTTX, Junebug, another artist, Capone, not Mr. Capone, but an artist went by Capone, and the owner of the label, Tone. So we had a group called Greenside Writers. So you'll hear songs like that you can find them like on YouTube and stuff like that. Greenside Writers, RIDAZ. So
Okay.
yeah,
RIDAZ.
Dope, dude.
Yeah.
There's a-
so you'll
'cause
hear
really,
me in the background. This is a sick one.
you still getting fat royalties off that?
Oh no,
It's not like you wrote the theme song in different strokes, bro. Come on.
He hung up on us. He's all, that's it.
He was like, "That's enough. Enough questions about the business. The IRS already knows too much."
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
is where I got to draw the line.
Dude, but that's crazy because I didn't realize you were that into like hip hop and rap and stuff. But it's really cool to see because how we met was through your cousin Eric. Shout out to Sex
Yeah.
E, as we called him back in the day. He was Sex E.
Yeah.
But we did a spot. I DJ'd and you were kind of, I guess, the promoter at that time.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on. I want to get into the story, Adelaide, but I want to ask John Fu one question real quick before I lose it. Is that okay? Did you guys ever play with Mellow Man Ace?
No, we did not do shows with Mellow Man.
Okay.
We had met him through the circle of everybody but we didn't do. I don't remember doing any shows with him.
I really like that guy, man. He was on the show. I really didn't you like him, Adley?
I was thinking that hat kind of looks like something that Mello.
Yeah, that Mello would wear, huh? All right, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Talk now. I'm sorry. Introduce how you guys made show.
I was going to rephrase Mike's thing though. We did a show with Mellow Man Ace.
Yeah, we did.
Chino Brothers podcast.
Yeah.
He was nice. He was a really nice guy.
Super nice guy.
But yeah, he's a great guy. I've met him and have done some interview stuff with him because we're still working on a documentary called "For the Record: The Story of Latinos in Hip Hop."
Yeah, he was telling us about that.
Yeah.
Did you have the same manager as him? What was that manager he was telling us about?
It was Jerry Heller, but the other one.
Yeah,
Jerry Heller's partner.
Yeah, he handled all Latino acts. He handled him. He handled Booyah
Cypress
Tribe.
Hill.
Yeah,
Like all
Cypress.
those guys and stuff.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
Yeah, he's like he used to start he would start his business meetings by putting a revolver on the table. That's what Mello told us. That was my Mello Man impersonation. That was a pretty good Mello Man, huh? All right, come on, Adley. You're telling us how you guys.
So back to the club scene. This is probably I'm gonna say 2006, 2007, right around there. But dude, it's just there's like a revolving door. You just get a rotation, everybody doing clubs, everybody doing whatever. And this is back in the time where people just, and they still do it now, just have a restaurant and like, let's start a club, which is cool. I have no problem with it. But we did the spot. Shout out to DJ Cheddar.
DJ Cheddar.
DJ Cheddar. He had a spot. It was a restaurant, really. But then he had a basement area.
Oh my goodness.
That was downtown. For some reason, Bakersfield, all the downtowns, all the buildings have basements. So he's all like, let's turn it into a club. So they built a bar down there, and we'd go DJ down there. And that's probably how I originally met you. Was it's like,
what was funny is because our spot was an after hours spot. So, right around midnight, we would open up and we were going till, 4 or 5 in the morning.
How did you keep the popo out?
We ran it as a private club.
Oh, that's right.
So we gave away memberships to people. They had little membership cards. That was the only way you could get in, if you had your membership card. And then we would sell people tickets. And we would sell you tickets, and you had to have food as well. So you don't know how people are going to spend their ticket money. And if they got a drink with their ticket money, you're not selling them alcohol.
Dude, and how hard was it to get a membership card?
Hey, what are you doing at midnight? Here's the membership card.
Oh, I love it, dude. Because I remember, and the DJ Swiss, shout out to him, he'd DJ, and then he'd always have me come through. He's like, delay, come through, man. We'll DJ the after hours and stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I go down there, and you're telling me, you're like, I'm like, how do you get a drink? Well, you got to buy a ticket first. And I was like, what do I do with the ticket? Oh, you give it to her right next to me. And she makes me a drink. I'm like, it's a whole extra transaction, and we're right next to each other.
It's like the gambling. Remember when gambling started getting legal in California, and there'd be like a weird person sitting at your table, and you're like, "What's this person doing here?" Like, "Oh, he's from the Tohono O'odham tribe." It's like, what does that mean? It's like, well, then that makes this table his land. It's like, why are we doing this? Why don't we just drink and smoke pot and play poker?
Oh my god, it's so true. Now, hey, so John, here's the question.
Yeah.
What'd you make more money at? Sick One Rhymes or that club?
Probably equally the same.
That club sounds pretty clever, though, because think about it. Everybody wants to stay up all night. I can't believe you. How late did you stay out, Adelaide, DJing this club?
That was in my younger days, so I'd probably stay till like 3 or 4, probably. You know?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And Cheddar was the type of dude that he's such a cool dude, such a friendly guy. You'd stay till 4 or 5 o'clock and be like, "Hey, I'm making breakfast upstairs."
Yes.
Cool, that's perfect, dude. You'd leave there at like 8 in the morning at 4.
Yeah, and it was funny because we were doing a TV show at the time as well called the 99 Cent Show.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
Tell us about
And-
this. Tell us, how does this go? Go ahead.
So we had a TV show that actually aired on Bright House in Kern County for a season and a half.
Wait, what's Bright House?
Like
Cable company.
Spectrum. Yeah. Look, it was the cable company in this area at the time. And we had a TV show, but we would bring artists to the hideout from Play. And we had 3-6 Mafia, Kobe O'Donnell,
Oh, that's
like
dope.
all kinds of artists. We were bringing them through the hideout. Like, hey, you want to go have lunch? Come on. And Cheddar was just hooking everybody up.
Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, we can eat.
Hell yeah, they were. And they were eating good.
Oh,
my
man, that
gosh,
is so
that's great.
smart.
I forgot about the 99-cent show. That's got to be floating around too, man. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be. That's got to be. If that ran for a season and a half, and back
It was
then,
fun.
I was gonna say in the 2000s, back then when we were at Play 103.9, you guys noticed KBDS at Bakersfield here. Artists came around back then.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
you met everybody, dude. You're telling me all
the
of like Wyclef and like freaking Fat Joe.
Millionaire
and-
came through.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, Wyclef, your buddy from Pittsburgh too. What's his name? Oh my gosh, Wiz
Wiz,
Khalifa
yeah.
came through. He didn't have the dreads then though, but that was a while back. Yeah, because everybody, it'd be like every other day someone was coming through to stop through.
Yeah.
Granted, they were on their
Oh,
way
yeah.
to the Bay or LA, but they're like,
Oh yeah. Cousin
big
E,
deal.
Cousin E would shuffle them right out the back door after they stopped at the station.
Well, you know what Sex E would say would be like, "You guys smoke?
Oh yeah.
Come with me."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
smart. That's so smart. That's so smart. It's like, what's this gonna cost me? A dime? It was like a dub sack. Okay, cool.
You guys.
Hey, I went to speaking of that, and how weed can bring people together. I went to the very first hip hop conference at the Standard in Hollywood for Rap Sheet magazine. And like we were like the only Latino, me and my boy were the only Latinos there. And we were in the elevator. And when we were in the elevator, we're in there with Jamal from Brand Nubian.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's sitting in there, and we're in an elevator, and we would smoke out every morning before we, went down to the conference. So all you see is like people going, they're looking around. We're not saying nothing. And finally, like Jamal goes, he's like, hey, he's like, is that you guys? And we were like, yeah. We're like, you want to go smoke? And he was like, hell yeah. So the rest of the conference, it was like 3 more days. He'd see us in the conference. He's like, hey, can we go upstairs and go smoke? Yeah, come on. So we were hanging out with him for like 3 or 4 days because of the beauty of weed.
Oh yeah.
Damage had that one story too about Raekwon too. That's too funny, man.
Oh yeah.
It does. That's crazy. Where is Eric going, man? We gotta find him.
I don't like being high around famous people, even less than I like being around famous people. I remember when I was at a radio conference, and like I didn't really smoke weed like that back then. But our program director, me and my program director, were at this radio conference. He didn't smoke weed. I didn't smoke weed. But his friends, like from Hawaii, were there. So like they took the last page out of the Bible. They're rolling up a joint, and we smoke weed. Next thing you know, we go down. We're eating dinner. I'm watching people juggle. Like they had like this. It looked like a circus while we were eating, and like Pink's up there singing, and I'm like, this is the weird. Like I'm freaking out. I cannot stop freaking out. Yeah. Adelaide's got an even worse weed story. Tell me your weed story, Adelaide.
Dude, without getting too heavy into it, but I'm not a good weed dude. When I'm high, it's like, and I've only tried it a couple times, but it's like there's reasons because I'm just like, I'm not good. There's certain people that can hang, and I get too paranoid. I get too like freaked out and stuff too. So
I'm cool with it on the normal. I don't like being around celebrities because I'm always like, am I acting properly? Like, is my shirt weird? Or like I'm always like, am I doing the wrong thing?
Your clothes have a sign that say he's high. That's like we always do that, right? We're like,
yeah,
do people know I'm high right now?
Well, and celebrities, like every time I see a celebrity, I'm like, I know I'm gonna say something stupid. I know I'm gonna say something stupid. So just don't talk. You know what I mean? Now I gotta be high in that situation. No, that's horrible.
I can
Oh,
say
man.
stupid stuff on my own sober. Yeah, I can say something.
I don't need any help.
And even speaking of that, though, you talk about the rap sheet. I remember that magazine. And back then, whether it was, a morning show conference in Vegas or a hip hop magazine in Los Angeles, they did it big. I mean,
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
all kinds of cool stuff. And you don't see that as much. I mean, I don't know. We don't see it, but
there's not that money there anymore. Well, think about it. I was just telling you guys about that radio conference, and when I described what was going on, no one was like, "That sounds insane." Everybody's like, "Yeah, I've done one of those too." You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is, because like you said, artists stopping through, and obviously since you guys are radio, like I remember going up to the Gavin in the Bay Area and like going there. I remember going to the Source Awards and doing all these things. Like there was this moment in like when we were doing things, and it was just like everybody's smoking weed, everybody's having a good time, and I made a lot of real quick friendships with a lot of people, and it was you just have to be out there sometimes and put yourself out there. So
yeah.
That's
crazy,
closed
dude.
mouths don't
Yeah.
get fed sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, I'm also the one that's like, dude, I don't want these people to think I'm being needy. Hey, don't forget to call me. All right, I'll see you later.
Hey, bro, I'm texting. What's your number? I'm texting.
Yeah.
Do it, hang out.
The 99 cent show.
Yes.
And then you remember Play 103.9. It was a lot of fun over there, man. We had a great time. And then but then the unfortunate thing happened. They closed it down.
Yeah.
You were around for that. Eric was around for that. We had a lot of great DJs on there. We had DJ Concept. We had P Fresh was on there. We had Ogre was on there. Infamous was on there. I mean, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but we had
Mickey
a lot
Rock,
of
dude.
Mickey Rock. Well, I'm talking about the DJs, like the mixers.
Oh,
and
the
Mickey
mixers,
Rock
I
does
got you.
do that too. So Mickey Rock, yeah, all those guys. And
Extraordinaire. Wasn't Extraordinaire there?
I feel like but I didn't.
24 kg.
KG was there.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire. What's his name? What's his real name?
I forget his name, but I almost positive that's where I met Extraordinaire.
Okay. But yeah, just a bunch of dudes, and we always had fun, and like the Wyclef Cipher we talked about, and Ill Flow was at that, and I mean it was great times. But then I remember the last night signing off, and it was really weird, and dude, everything was going so good. I'm like, I'll be working in, in
Los
some
Angeles,
big market somewhere anyway, so I'm not worried and stuff, and then days go by, weeks go by, and you're like, oh man, because it was the recession too, a bigger, so nobody was hiring, nothing was happening.
They're still hiring in Akron.
Yeah,
I'm moving to Akron.
I was like, Des Moines, man, won't even call me back. What's going on? But then you started the internet radio station.
Yeah,
the Core Live.
Well, we had started it originally in 1999, like right when, like, I'll tell you how what was really interesting is I remember I had shot a short film, and this internet company saw an article about me in the Californian. They hit me up, and the owner of the company was like, I want to put your movie on our website. And he's like, let's work out a deal. And I was like, okay, didn't really know anything about the internet at that point. And so go to the offices, and they got a little room where they're doing a radio show. And I was like, you know what? I said, how about you give me a spot on the radio show? Because I know a bunch of artists and stuff like that. So I'd already done the touring and, was at Greenside Records and done all that. So like, I had a little bit of a reach. So I was like, you know what? Like, I just let me do a show, so I can, kind of get back into that. And he was like, well, why don't you do your own show? And I was like, okay. Yeah, let's do that. And next thing you know, we started putting this thing together, and like all the DJs started coming through. I'm like, it was really crazy. Like it was me and Casey, Big Willie, and I mean, there was a good dozen of us, man, that just like turned this little studio across the street from the Rabobank, right across the street from the Rabobank, and we turned this little office suite into a studio. And we were going live, and like I didn't even know how to send an email back then. Like I used to have to ask the dude. I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to send something to Double XL. Like, can you tell me?" Like, he's like, "I've already showed you like twice." I'm like, "Dude, I don't get it." You know, I'm like, "You gotta explain it to me."
Electronic mail.
Who was the guy you're telling this to? The guy at Kinko's, or where were you?
The guy whoever owned the office building at that time, who brought us into the office building.
Okay.
So like, I didn't know how to send an email. I didn't understand 56K. That
The dial-up modem.
yeah. So it was really crazy. Like we were learning something, and that was groundbreaking. And now we call it a podcast, but we were doing this thing in 1999, 24 hours a day, live video radio.
That's cool.
And we were doing it out of Bakersfield, California.
Holy crap, dude. Okay, so it was always there.
Yeah, it was in 1999 to about 2000, like mid 2000. And then, just funds, like we were paying for it ourselves, so funds ended up running out, closed it. And then about 2010, everybody had been hitting me up. And they were like, "Hey, why don't you do it again?" And I was like, let's try it. Let's see if we can get it going. And that time, like we had Joseph Gomez, KG, Wild One, DJ Rec, Damage. I mean, everybody was there.
Everybody's been on the Chino brothers.
A lot, yeah. Everybody, yeah.
Everybody was there. And it was crazy because there was just this whole thing of like people were like, the very first week we were on, we had over 100,000 views. Like people were on there.
Wow.
What was really dope is that people were staying logged on for 4 to 8 hours a day.
Nice.
Huh. Wow. That's like Twitch now, dude. I mean, you could just go live. It was always on. And did you actually have commercials, or was it pretty much just
yeah, we had some commercials. We had some commercials and stuff like that. So I mean, nothing too crazy, but it was what we were doing.
What John Fu is not telling you is they had pornography going on in the background the whole time. That's why people were staying for 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Yeah, because I do remember hearing about it. And I around that time is when I had my first kid, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to be DJing much longer. Well, it wasn't, she was kind of like, hey, you can just get a real job that's not at night. And I was like, oh. So yeah, so I didn't go around the core live, but I remember seeing it. I remember watching it. I remember a bunch of DJs being a part of it too. So
my kids are running crazy.
The kid, okay. Are they doing anything musically or artistically?
My daughter has actually just told me today that she does an acting class after school, apparently.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just found out today. And what was funny, because she said she had done the class, and she said they did Who's on First. And so I was like, you're talking about the old school Abbott and Costello, Who's on First? She was like, huh? Like, had no idea.
She didn't know who Abbott and Costello were.
No, I had to show it to her today on the car drive home. So it was hilarious, because she was like, oh, I played that character.
That is very classic too, man. That's 100 years old. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Pretty darn close to 100 years old. So
all right, so how do we get into the movies? That's where I'm trying to go, because we were trying to promote this movie. Listen, hold on. Adlai, when you get a cat on here who's pushing a movie, they're not on here to talk about DJ 24KG or something like that. They want to talk about Troll. So I want to know, how did you get into becoming into the movies?
It was, it was actually when I was at Greenside. When we were at Greenside, Swingers had just came out, Friday had just came out, and we found out what they did those movies for. We found out they did them for $250,000. So we came to the label and we were like, hey, why don't we do this? like No Limit Records had just did Bout It as well. So like record labels were, well, No Limit was getting into that space as well.
We
You
knew
know, they
all
were
those.
telling,
We saw
Love
every
it.
No Limit movie because of Adley. Adley was a
I
huge
made
No
him
Limit
watch it.
fan.
Which
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
wait,
And-
all memorable when you throw it with Swingers Friday and Bout It, all in the same category.
they were all doing that thing. And it was funny because we pitched it to the label and we were like, you know, how do we do something like Friday? You know, like keep it a low budget, keep it neighborhood. And so we had literally came up with an 8 Mile before there was an 8 Mile. So we had wrote this film about a dude that gets out on house arrest, and you see all the crazy people that come to his neighborhood, to his house, and he's trying to write music, and he's trying to be an artist. And so you watch him trying to get a job and doing all these, you know, regular things. And yeah, so, and then we ended up, Edward James Olmos actually picked up the film from us, and they started like bringing in all the, like, you know, the Mi Familia people and all the Selena
wow.
people. Like it started getting really big. And then the record label, the owner of the label got in a little trouble, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Like that quick. Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Like
the
I
Hollywood
always say,
lifestyle, man. Oof.
Nope. Someone's always got to mess it up in Latino radio in some way, shape, or form, bro. Someone will mess it up. Someone gonna mess it up for everybody. Everybody have a good time. That one dude got to mess it up. It's like, bro, we were gainfully employed. Why did you do this
We
to
had
us?
a job, man. We were
Yeah.
actually earning money. Mom was actually like proud of me for once. Like, oh man, he's got a steady paycheck.
All right, John Fu, explain this to us. How come Mexican Americans make up such a vast population in the United States and they are so underrepresented in Hollywood?
You know what? This is a very good topic. I'm a firm believer that there, you know, the people who are writing these stories, that's where it starts from. You know, if you're not writing characters like that because you don't know anything about those people, us in general, you know, that's why you have somebody like a Tyler Perry, because, you know, he knows the voice, you know, of his people. You know, there's, you know, nobody that I feel that is at that level contributing to that part of it. You know, you look in the old days and like you have like Anthony Quinn and all these, like, there used to be big Hollywood Latino movie actors.
No, but
like
not Latino, Mexican. You gotta understand, that's the thing. It's not Latinos that are underrepresented that I'm talking about. It's Mexican people that I'm talking about that are underrepresented for the size of the population. And realistically, and I agree with you that the roles aren't being written, but realistically, when you do see something that's created by someone in the Mexican American community, it's akin to like a Kirk Cameron film, but for the hood.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Where like the quality's not there, like it just doesn't work, or it's too on the nose. You know what I mean? Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Like there's no white people. Like you see a white person, everybody acts like they're looking at an alien, and it's like, well, dude, it's not like no white people grew up around us. It's not like we never saw white people. You know, I don't know why people can't write. And it's super obvious whenever there's like the Latino appreciation month.
Did you watch that show on Hulu this summer? What was it? This Fool?
Yeah, I thought they did a decent job on that one.
They did a really good job.
Like, I thought they did a decent job on that one.
You know, Netflix had Hentified. You know, like there's some good projects out there that, to me, also in a way are still kind of pigeonholed. You know.
No, I agree with you.
You know, it's still,
and also I think that's, but John Fu, that's foolishness that there should be this pigeonhole belief or idealism. Like realistically, it's this. There's never, okay, there's 3 minorities on this podcast. We're not sitting here talking about rice and beans and you know, chanclas and egg rolls. You know, like we're talking about experiences in life. It's not. What's this idea that if you're brown, You don't just have experiences in life in Hollywood.
And that's the thing too, is like, look at, I can look across my personal family. Do I have some family, that is a little thuggish, a little rough around the edges? Yeah.
Of course.
Do I got a cousin, that does surgery?
Heroin?
That's a surgeon.
Oh, you got the other side too. Yeah.
Do I like those are the stories that I think are not being told. They think we're in this one space, like we're Chicanos, and my story is my neighborhood, my tia, my abuelita. Nah, like there's more stories, man. There's more stories. George Lopez, I remember on one of his stand-up, he's like, they always were like, you go to the hospital and like, who's the person that's going to talk for the family? Well, Marcos, you're going to talk because you work at Target. Like that's
put on
where
your vest. Put on your vest. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was like the level of like, that's, to me, that's not just, that is some people's family, but I know my family, there's people all over the place, working at the UF, working at the United Farm Workers, then I like, it's just.
Well, and also, why do I have to prove to you by who my people are and how much money I got in my pocket? How about I could just be an American? How about that?
Yes.
Let me just be an American, like the other guy over there in the TV program and the other guy in the TV program. I'll say this: when I was a kid, growing up in Los Angeles, I used to watch television. And I thought, what is this? Like, where does it look like this? Or are these people just racist? They don't like, they're so racist they don't want to make it look like real life. But then I moved away from LA and I'm like, oh, this is how it looks everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of white people everywhere else. But my point in saying, like, there's this thing in Hollywood, or I want to say with the liberals too, where it's like, I want to pretend like I want minorities to be normal. I don't even say normal. I don't know what the term is, but you dig where I'm going. I want minorities to be intermingled or whatever the term would be.
Yeah.
But I want to point out to minorities why they're minorities. And it's like, well, we already know that. How about why we're Americans?
Yeah.
How about why we like to kick it?
Yeah, you're very right. And it's funny because this weekend we screened at the film market. We screened one of our other movies, and the other movie's way different than the Trolled movie. And so like all these people walked out of the theater like full blown tears, like just like blubbering tears. And it was funny because our PR lady was like, she's like, I'm talking to people and I'm letting them know, like this is, from a Latino director who hasn't, one of the best Latino directed films in a long time, in 10 years. And I wasn't there for this conversation. Bobby was. And so like, she was trying to do this whole, you're great because you're Latino.
All right, hold on, John Poo. Hold on, wait. Because there's going to be some qualifications here. Hold on. Because I'm going to tell you right now if it's going to make me mad or not. So I'm going to ask you one question. Adley, I bet you already know what question I'm about to ask this man. Was it a white lady doing this?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She's Puerto Rican. And she was like, really trying to make an emphasis that, because I'm Latino, I directed this great film. But I was like, I've always said it to Bobby. I'm like, why can't I just be a good director, period? Why do I have to be,
no, I'm 100%.
I'm good because I'm Latino.
No, I'm 100% with you.
I don't want.
But if it's gonna help me get in, though, I'll be good because I'm Asian. Don't worry. Here, help me out.
But, it's like it goes back to like the Baker Boy thing. You guys were like, well, why didn't you reach out to these people? Right. It's the same thing. Like, why can't I get the job because of my own merit, who I am, period, point blank? Why can't it be based on just what I'm doing?
No, I'm straight with that. I agree 100% with what you're saying. That's very American, though, John Fu. And right about now, people don't like America very much. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest with you. That's a very American statement. Well, and I think that's the next thing, right? It's like, it's kind of difficult for me when I'm trying to explain. It's like, look, to my kids, where I'm like, look, you guys are literally the first ones that get to be Americans. Like you get to be real Americans. Like whatever you want to do with your life, Americans, man, you guys get to be. Like I don't even know how they like I can't even imagine what that's going to be for them, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. But if the grown-ups are going to pretend like we're going to have it like that too, yeah, then let's just drop the labels. Whoever's the best is the best. If I'm not the best, then let me keep working until I'm the best. But when I become the best, don't discount my hard work.
Yeah. Oh, you got that way because you know you were Latino. Nah. Why can't my hard work just be? Why can't my hard work just be my hard work? And that's all. Like I'm obviously proud to be Latino. I mean, I was on a Latino record label. You know, I've always done these things, but I just don't like there's these like film clubs that are all Latino empowerment, and I get it. I totally get it. And they're like, we got to work together so we can create a different story, tell different stories for Latinos. And to me, I'm just like, why can't we just tell good stories? I don't have all my friends aren't Latinos. I have white friends, I got friends from Chicago, like I have friends all over the board,
Hold on real quick. Adley, when he says he has friends from Chicago, those are his black friends. Anyways, go on, John Fu. I apologize.
There you go. See, you got that.
No, man, I think I agree with you though. It is a nutty thing where I think it's because Caucasian people are in control of those industries, the social media industries, the traditional media industries, and they're starting to realize how like they've squeezed everybody out. So it's like, all right, well, how can we make up for this? And it's like, well, bro, how about this? Don't write tortillas again for us. Don't do that. Like I like Spider-Man's homeboy being Filipino. That's a good one. And he's doing a good job of it. I like Miles Morales being Puerto Rican, like I'm cool with that, these are all matching up.
Yeah.
But when they did that, like, remember when they did the Marvel cast as all Latinos last month, Adley?
Oh yeah. But they didn't. They did it wrong
for the Wakanda.
No. This is they introduced all these because it was Latin Heritage Month, September to October, and they had one lady that's like, oh, superhero. And also a waitress, and she's flying in with her tray of tamales.
Oh yeah, it was bad, like, bro. It was.
What
bad.
are you guys thinking?
Yeah,
dude?
like there was a lady standing in front of Walgreens with a with a cooler. That was her superpower. She was in front of Walgreens with a cooler. Her superpower was bomb tamales. She was like, "Yep, come on."
Yeah, it was. So
I was like, "Hey, you're not supposed to do that, Marvel. You're not supposed to do that." Well, you can kind of tell when they sandwich it in, and it's like, bro, just don't do it. Like I either know or I don't know. And realistically, like if someone doesn't like John Fu and they're a bigot, I already know John Fu doesn't want to believe they're a bigot. Because that's all good minorities are, I guess. I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to make it sound like we're some sort of weirdos. But it's like, bro, I don't want to think white people are bigots. And it is disappointing when you find out one is. It's like, oh,
you know what?
Come on.
I'm definitely a person that, I judge people off of them personally as a person. Doesn't
100%.
matter what color, size, doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. And everybody, your character is your character. And if you're a good person, you're a good person in my book. And if we can be friends because you're a good person, then cool. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care your sexual orientation. I don't care where your grandma was from. I don't care about none of that. You individually, if you're cool, then we're cool.
Then we're cool. It reminds me like I had to go to the DMV recently, and I went to the one in Shafter. And Mike, it's a small town outside of Bakersfield. And people kept telling me, dude, if you go to the DMV in Shafter, it's way faster, whatever. But it's kind of a farming, agricultural-ish kind of town, right? So I'm thinking like, all right, I'm gonna go there. I'll make my appointment. And that was my Caucasian side. I made an appointment. I got all my paperwork ready to go and everything. And I get there and found a parking spot right by the front door. And there's 2 lines to get in. One, no appointments. 1 appointments. So there's a line of a few people already in the no appointment line, and I'll just say they were all brown. And I walk up, and being half Asian, I was the first one in the appointment line.
Wow.
And they have a door. They have a door that opens, and because they're not. It's one at a time going in, and the guy in the non-appointment line starts walking up, and she's all, "Hold on, do you have an appointment?" He's all, "No," and he's like, "You?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So she's like, "Come on up," and I could feel the people just their eyeballs like, "What the heck is this guy?" And then I go in there, and it's a white blonde lady, and that's where it kicked in. Oh, so you have an appointment? Yes, ma'am, I do. Where do I need to go? And it was like, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying like it was weird to me to be like, because she probably looked at me like, what is this guy? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not supposed to tell anybody in Bakersfield to go to the Shafter DMV because it's way easy, way more convenient. I was in and out of there in 10 minutes.
Did you spit game at that lady, dude? Were you spitting game at that lady?
I did try to spit game to the girl that was doing my paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Because I was getting a real ID to make myself legit.
Oh, that's right. We got to do that before the end of the year. Right?
Yeah, my ID was up anyway, so I had to do it. And I was like, crap, I might as well just get it out of the way and stuff. So we're going through all the motions, but it was like it was in and out of there. But I did spit a little game, like shooting, cracking jokes, kind of. But you never know at the DMV. Can you joke with this person or not? You know what I'm saying, dude? And but that in and out of there in 10 minutes. Kind of my point about the story though, too, is like being mixed race, you play for what works. Kind of like Mike, when you're saying like, hey, if that can help me get that edge, then that's kind of what it is. And again, I'm not saying if it's right or it's wrong. And I don't even know if I did. I feel like I didn't do it on purpose, but looking back, I'm like, maybe I did. Maybe she kind of was like nice to me. Because what was it? Because I was a nice guy?
I don't know, bro. I thought you were going to say she was nice to you because you're wearing a Trump hat or Make America Great Again hat. She was a white lady in a small town.
You know what's really funny is my friend Bobby. He's definitely like, dude. He's like, I'll use your brown card if you're not going to use it.
I mean, I agree that it's to me. I think wanting to be American is to say, I want you to judge me by my merits. And here's the next thing. It might take me a minute to catch up with you because you might have started on third base. Your parents might have had money. Your parents might have stayed together. Your parents might be from a neighborhood with no gangbangers. But don't worry, I've gotten an incredible work ethic. And eventually, when I get you and I pass you, I don't want to hear any bull about, oh, well, the reason why they gave him the promotion was, or any of that, dude. I don't want to hear any of that. All I want to hear is, yep, I was wrong. You did.
The better man got it. Period.
That's
the
it.
better man or woman got it. That's all. I can live with that. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I can take a beating too. If someone's better, you're right. You beat me, even if I have bad luck. Anyway, John Fu, we end the show all the time with some celebrity news. So Adlai's going to read us some news stories, and I'm going to make fun of them, and you can join in with me. But
I'm all for it.
Since you're the guest, you get to pick which story we do first. So Adlai, why don't you go ahead and tell them some stories to pick from?
All right, here's some headlines for you to choose from, John. Dave Chappelle, he's talking about doing the SNL show this weekend, but there's rumors of a boycott of the other people on the show, other writers on the show. That's number one. John Wick Chapter 4, the trailer's out. That's story number 2. And it's a toss-up for me, but I think, okay, here's number 3. 50 Cent teases a TV series about the jailed scammer. You guys remember him from Instagram blowing up? Ray Hushpuppi.
Ray Hushpuppi.
He was the guy that's all, look at all this money I made. And it found out he was that guy that was sending emails about helping an orphanage in Ghana.
Oh my gosh.
And he made millions off of it.
What a horrible person.
So those are 3. Dave Chappelle, SNL.
You know
John
what? I'm a Dave Chappelle. I love this. It kind of goes to the end of our topic. This cancel culture that we live in, dude. I like. Comedy is comedy. If you can't take a joke, I'm sorry. I mean, I think Dave Chappelle's hilarious. So I want to hear the Dave Chappelle one.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So here's the headline. Then we'll talk about all this stuff. Now, this is from CNN. So Dave Chappelle's representative, he's pushing back on a report that claims Saturday Night Live writers were staging a boycott ahead of his hosting the show. It's actually this weekend, this coming up here. So the New York Post, citing an anonymous source, reported writers on the show were going to sit out on the episode. Quote, "We've seen nothing to support media reports of a writer's boycott." This is from Chappelle's rep. In fact, the writers delivered over 40 sketches for Dave's consideration and collaboration just as during Dave's past SNL appearances, and you won't want to miss it. And this will actually be Chappelle's third time hosting SNL, and it's usually right after an election like this. Now, news of Chappelle's hosting was met with some furor on social media, given his controversial comments over the years about the transgender community, especially given that the show announced in September that it was adding its first non-binary cast member, comedian and actor Molly Kearney, and has a trans non-binary writer, Celeste Yim. CNN has reached out to representatives for SNL. Chappelle has made jokes about the trans community in sets over the years, found himself, we're just talking about it, receiving the backlash from some members of the LGBTQ plus community and allies. So what do you guys think? I mean, is SNL like caving?
I do not believe they are. I think it's all hype. It's what are you gonna I'm sure their ratings are not that good any longer because you know. And then what do? You bring then you bring somebody like Chappelle. He is controversial. And it's right now, it's all over media. People are talking about it. It's a hot topic. So what are you going to want to do on Saturday Night Live? Saturday night, you're going to want to watch Saturday Night Live to see what happened.
Yeah, and John, you said it earlier. Funny is funny. Dave Chappelle is a funny mother effer. There's no question about it, dude. And SNL knows that. And now if you're a writer on SNL and you hear Dave Chappelle's coming,
and you get to write a sketch for Dave Chappelle, dude, that's a story you're going to tell for the rest of your life.
Well, check this out. Here's what's really awesome is, like, think about that. Like, if you were totally against Dave Chappelle and you have a platform like Saturday Night Live, why would you not create a joke, a sketch that could, let out a little bit of your, woe is me into it, so he would have to commit to something like that? Like, why not use it? If you really want to be, like, I'm not doing this and I'm gonna, I just don't get that.
Well, remember after The Closer came out and Netflix and people were boycotting Netflix, whatever, they actually had 65 Netflix employees said, we're not working here anymore unless you pull The Closer. And thank goodness Netflix stood strong and said, Dave Chappelle makes us way too much money.
All this stuff. I think there's like 50 people who believe in this stuff. I'm starting to get to this place in my life, or because, like, who believes in this stuff? Nobody believes in this stuff. There's like a boogeyman that believes in it. If we say anything against it, the boogeyman's going to come get us.
And that's what you call the troll.
That's I
guess.
Hashtag troll SOS.
But I'm being honest. Like, there's this idea of, like, okay, look, freaking John Foo's going to wear a dress tomorrow, and you guys can't pretend like you cannot say that's weird. You can't ask him what the heck's going on. You can't be like, do you still have a wiener? You can't have no questions, or else you love Trump. What? How did you make that leap? Well, that's how it is for you Trump supporters. I'm not a Trump supporter. Don't tell me that, bigot. You're white.
You don't know how I look in a black dress.
Yeah.
I'll rock the hell out that thing.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's dude, you can't be mad at me because your stuff is weird, man. That's not my problem. I didn't make it weird. It's just weird. And if honest to goodness, you can be weird. Anybody could do whatever they want to do. You cannot convince me it's normal. But you could do it. That's on you, man.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. If you want to be weird, man. I say embrace it.
Yeah.
Who am I? I know I do my own weird,
We're all kind of weird.
Yeah, like, so what? If you like, doing
Taping your
weird
wiener
stuff.
behind your legs. You like taping your wiener behind your legs and put on a lady's clothing and call
Sometimes
yourself a lady's name. Fine.
sometimes you got to tuck it.
Yeah, but if you're gonna step in MMA, you're gonna step in the ring. You can't do that. You gotta fight dudes, man. I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
That's true.
What story are we talking about? Oh,
This
Dave
is
Chappelle.
Chappelle going on SNL, dude. And let's be honest, man. Too, yeah, you're talking about this SNL ratings or whatever, But Dave Chappelle, a mastermind, a genius. Definitely, when it comes to comedy, whether stand up or scripted, skits or whatever, and movies too, because we got Half Baked. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's up there, dude. I mean, who do you put up in that class with Dave Chappelle? Who else is there? That's as
Bill
funny,
Burr makes me
but
laugh.
as sharp as Bill Burr's
Bill
great
Burr?
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
Bill
Bill
Burr
Burr.
makes me laugh. But Chappelle is a monster. The problem is there's only a few monsters alive at a time. You know what I mean? And those monsters are only funny in that frame of when they were supposed to be funny. So like Eddie Murphy Raw, when you heard that when you were 11 years old, that was the literal funniest thing you've ever heard ever. Like you can't stop laughing. But Chappelle, man, when he puts out a special, he does it to you again.
And you know what? I think his comedy, he's reached this point where, you know what? He's unapologetic. So there's a sense of freedom in that, to just be like, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. There's freedom in that. So then you have, other people, like, no offense, but like when Kevin Hart, they kicked him off of hosting the Oscars, there starts to be some backpedaling because you like those checks. Those guys writing you those checks.
Yeah.
That's why you do that backpedaling. Dave Chappelle ain't worried about a $20 million check. He's cool with getting his steady income, and he gets to be him.
I'm sure he probably doesn't need to make another dollar because he doesn't seem like the type of guy that just burns money.
No.
So
well, what was his closing on the Chappelle show? What was his closing? I'm rich, biatch.
Yeah.
And he lives in Ohio, doesn't he? I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Russell Peters is hilarious, man. I think that guy. You guys both got to get down with Russell Peters. That guy is hilarious and sells out.
Funny. I was just in a conversation about him this weekend with some actor I forgot, and he was telling us a story about some guy who's like, he's like, yeah, Russell Peters used to come into my coffee shop all the time. He's like, when I worked at a coffee shop, he goes, and I remember this one guy knew that he would come into the shop, and he was like, tell Russell Peters, I said, what's up? Tell him it's me, so-and-so. And he said, and he finally sat down with Russell Peters, told him like, hey, so-and-so told me to tell you what's up, and that, he hadn't seen you in a while. He was like, man, F that dude. He used to try to bully me in high school. Tell him, what did he, and then he goes, what does he do now? And he's like, he's a janitor. That's what his ass gets. Tell him, F you. He goes, we weren't friends.
That's a great story.
Oh, that dude will get me in stitches. That guy will have me bent over laughing. And then Chappelle will have me bent over laughing.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this last question about this article. Are you going to watch SNL this week because Dave Chappelle's hosting?
I don't think Chappelle's funny. You're going to watch it, Jumpu?
I'm not. I don't know if I'll watch it that night, but I know I'm going to go on YouTube and, see what the highlights are.
Yeah, I don't think he's funny on SNL, though. I think he's mediocrely funny on SNL. Where like Eddie Murphy on his last SNL, oh my gosh, he murdered me on his last SNL.
Yeah. There'll be something controversial, I bet, but I just don't think it's going to be big news like they think it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, because I feel like a lot of it's just died down. People are like, I ain't got time for this. I got to move on.
You know what it is on SNL? You can't cuss. And you can't be like, make fun of a woman's vagina. You know what I mean? You can't like that's Dave Chappelle's like fast lane right there. Like that's his lane to just be really crass. And like they try to get to the edge of it. It's like, bro, you're on network television. Well, these goofy nerds from Harvard. You can't do that. Like, you'd be funny with Elon Musk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So All right, guys, moving on to the next topic because I'll probably watch it. I'm not gonna lie.
Do
I'm
it.
gonna watch SNL. I think
I'm not mad if you guys think Chappelle's amazing on SNL. I personally don't think he is, but you can say, "Hey, Mike, you're crazy. F you. Chappelle's the goat." And I'm like, yeah, he is the goat. I do still think he's the goat.
All right, we're gonna go next to the movie one. We got to talk John Wick because it's on number 4. Number 4, and let me just read the title here. It's basically A New Day is Dawning. This is the Marquis de Gramont. He says there's new ideas, new rules, new management because the John Wick Chapter 4 trailer is out. We had joy, we had fun. Reeves has bad guys on the run. So Keanu Reeves doing it again. He uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. Are you, John, are you a big John Wick fan, or where you
Oh
at
man, I
with this?
love John Wick. I love that
Okay.
whole.
I'm
Did you happen to watch Nobody?
no. Oh yeah, with Bob
The
Odenkirk.
Breaking Bad dude?
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, I did see that. I thought that was a great film too.
Oh, dude, that was great. That was that they have this little style that they're doing, and I dig it. I dig that. Yeah, it's dope.
I was gonna ask you, John Fu, about this John Wick, because this John Wick series seems very Bushido, seems very like samurai. Is there some sort of samurai influence that you're familiar with about this, or?
No, not that I am. But I love that. What's his name? Donnie Yen's gonna be in it.
Oh, is he?
Well, who's
Yeah.
that?
He's the guy from
Ip Man.
Ip Man. He's also the guy. He's the guy from Rogue One who says, "I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me."
Yes.
He's a kung fu dude, bro. If you don't know him, we can't help you.
Okay.
He was in Shanghai Nights. He was in. I mean, but he's a kung fu guy. But he's a cool kung fu guy. He's like the youngest kung fu guy, but he's still getting up there in age.
Yeah. But I remember him from the Ip Mans.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's saying all the people in there. There's Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Lawrence Fishburne, Hiroyuki Sanada.
Dude, Lawrence
Okay.
Fishburne will be in this, but he wouldn't be in the Matrix. I don't understand why he wasn't in the Matrix reboot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting too, but I don't know. I'm a John Wick fan. There's a lot of violence in it.
There is a lot of violence.
But it's just he's the good guy, and he's kind of like the guy. This stuff has to be done to the bad people out there, and he does it and he gets it done.
But
And
doesn't
the dude's
it seem
50-something
like a
years old. It's
Japanese
awesome.
film, Adley? Doesn't it seem like a Japanese film to you, kind of?
I could see, yeah, definitely get that vibe. Yes, no doubt. Yes, definitely could get that. So
I liked when
watching
him and Common, I think it was in John Wick 2, they were walking through a museum and they were shooting at each other, but they both had silencers, so nobody could hear them shooting at each other. And it's like, pew, pew, pew. That was a great scene.
Let me just read this to you guys too, because you guys are movie guys. A few key lines from the footage. It's set to a haunting take on the mid-century hit Seasons in the Sun. Do you remember Seasons in the Sun?
Yeah.
No.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons.
Is that,
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these.
At least one of us is a DJ and knows music around here.
Here's a couple lines from it that just a couple of them actually really jump out at you. A man has to look his best when it's time to get married or buried. Keanu's going to be saying that, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think there's a girl in this one.
I know they're getting ready to do a spin-off of this with Anna de Armas.
Oh wow.
Looking for the name. Okay.
Man, I don't know. I'm pretty fired up to see this John Wick 4. I haven't seen Shazam yet, though. Have you guys seen Shazam yet?
Or Black Adam?
Or Black Adam? That's
Black
what I
Adam.
meant.
I
Yeah,
have not seen.
I haven't seen
Shazam.
Black
Like,
Adam.
but okay. Here's another line, you guys. Oh, go ahead.
My son got to see Wakanda Forever last night on a sneak preview because he got good grades.
Nice.
From
Oh,
his
that's
school.
dope.
Looks good.
Yeah,
That movie looks amazing.
he said
Yeah,
it was.
look
It was almost 3 hours.
Ooh.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna go this weekend.
Right on. Here's another line. I want you to find you peace, but a good death only comes after a good life. Somebody dying? Well, yeah, but is it John Wick?
I mean, it's about time.
For John Wick to die.
He dodged a lot of bullets.
He's dodged a lot of
They
bullets.
probably made a lot of money on that franchise, man.
Oh,
What
yeah.
franchise, dude? That you're talking about a franchise that's just milked it. That Fast and Furious. What's the next one that's coming?
Jeez.
Is that
12.
13 or something?
13.
10?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, they not only do they
I saw
milk
the
it,
last one. I saw the last one, and when they shot a car into outer
into
space,
space. Yeah,
I was like, okay, all right, we reached it.
it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. It was like an 87 Celica
Right.
too. It's like, why would you do that? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was horrible.
Here's
Yeah,
another
it
line.
was.
Here's another line that makes me feel like there's an end coming. Challenge him to single combat. Win or lose, it's a way out. Maybe. So, John Wick 4 coming out March 24th. So we got to wait a few months.
Boo!
Yeah, not for a few months.
Give me
but-
the bootleg now, bro. Come
Yeah.
on. Chinitos always have it. Come on, hook it up, bro. Come on.
John Foo's got some connects inside, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's our last story, Adley?
All right, the last one. 50 Cent teases a TV series about the jailed scammer Ray Hushpuppi. That's Hushpuppi. Hushpuppi. Now, 50 Cent, he's indicated that the next project in his growing film and television empire may be centered around influencer turned scammer Ray Hushpuppi, following news that Hushpuppi has been sentenced to 11 years in prison for his role in an international fraud ring. 50 Cent shared a photo of the disgraced social media star. Quote, "For my scammers, I got to do this one. Hushpuppi series coming soon. GLG, Greenlight Gang, I don't miss." So you can see that. And just to give you a background on Ray Hushpuppi, I remember seeing him, and he's always got fancy cars, plush jewelry and super sweet clothes, Versace, this and that. And his rise and fall already reads like something you'd see in a movie. The Nigerian native born Raymond Abbas built a massive social media following by sharing photos and videos of his lavish lifestyle. Now, according to BBC News, Hushpuppi's now deactivated Instagram account once boasted as many as 2.8 million followers. Authorities say that his social media posts made it clear that the life of luxury, which he flaunted online, was funded by the fact that he was, quote, one of the most prolific money launderers in the world.
God.
Something to make a
man.
series about? I think so.
Yeah, that does sound like something to make a series out of.
Now, he actually pled guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to engage in money laundering, and aggravated identity theft after he was indicted for attempting to rob a business person of $1.1 million back in 2021. The funds were allegedly intended to finance a school in Qatar. Huh. He also
Oh my
confessed,
gosh.
to other cyber and business email compromise schemes that cumulatively caused more than $24 million in losses. Woo!
Dude,
What a great story.
that's wild to me.
What a scumbag, man. Like, you're not only robbing, you're robbing from people in Qatar. It's like, okay, these people have nothing. Well, I'll take whatever they were going to get for me. Bye. It's like, what a scumbag.
You thought you were getting new shoes? Guess what? I'm getting a new BMW.
Exactly. That's your soccer stadium right there.
Oh, geez, that's great. But just bringing it around to 50 Cent, though. 50 Cent, genius on what he's done with, stars and power and all these different spin-off franchises. So I feel like the dude 50 Cent knows what he's doing and is going to make another hit. And if this does come to fruition, that it's going to be a great series, no question.
Did you watch that series with she was like a Russian socialite on Netflix, and I guess she was scamming people, they said.
Oh no, but I know what you're talking
The chick
about.
from Ozark played the girl. I forget the movie, but that was a series. That was a dope little. So like, I didn't know any of that stuff, and then I watched it. I was like, oh damn, she was doing it.
Ruthless.
It was about that boot. She was stealing Bitcoin, wasn't she? Was that the one?
No, she was stealing. But see, that's the thing is like she showed it like she was gonna open an art gallery and like do art, and like all these art influencers, and we're like, oh my god, she's amazing. She was like 24 years old, like, and convincing people that have been in this industry for, like, how are you not smart enough to spot this little 24-year-old girl hustling you guys?
Whatchamacallit, not Binance, but the other one, FTX. FTX went down yesterday. That's the guy lost $144 billion, and he's a 24-year-old scam artist. What's that kid's name, Adelaide? Josh?
I can't remember, but I remember the FTX story. Yeah, it dropped like 90% or something.
Yeah, he lost $144 billion from Monday till today.
Golly.
That's insane,
dude. The insane part is that his entire fund went down. Think how many people's crypto is in his fund, and it's not really in his fund because he was scamming them for it. Like this is the biggest. I've never heard of this big of a scam in my life is going on right now with FTX.
Yeah. So we get. And speaking of which, you have an NTF coming, right, John?
Oh yeah.
NFT, yeah,
NFT,
we do.
Yeah, NFT. Oh, my bad, NFT.
Yeah, dude, don't get involved with none of them shady coin guys.
Oh, dude,
keep it on the cold wallet, bro. Because whoo, dude, these dudes are taking money right now. But they're like 27-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Dudes,
so it's like, so it's like you really thought that guy? What did he say he was going to buy Merrill Lynch someday? It's like, come on. Dude, he printed his own FTX coins. That's what he did. And he said they were stable. And then he just kept printing them and just kept selling them. But there was nothing backing them up.
Awful. That's a scam straight up, dude.
Yeah, then the dude from Binance called him out and was like, hey, I was going to take all my liquidity out of there, but I don't want to make you freeze right away. And everybody's like, what? So everybody started pulling their money out as fast as they could. From Monday till today, that dude lost $144 billion.
Yeah.
$billion.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So 50 Cent, another great series. If this happens, it's gonna be awesome. And dude, you gotta love 50 Cent, right?
He's amazing.
Yes. So with that, a couple shout outs real quick to John. You got some fans out there. Christina.
Oh, awesome.
Saying what's up. Saying what's up. Jessica. Watching my boo.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them having their own little conversation.
Very cool. But we appreciate everybody coming through. We appreciate John, you coming through. I know last week didn't happen, but that's okay.
I'm glad. You know what? If I would have done it out there, I think it would have been spotty anyway. So I like that I was actually able to be at home and dedicate some time to it, because the conversation was dope. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Couple shout outs real quick before you close out.
Go ahead.
John, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to Bobby, Jessica, everybody that just did tune in tonight. Thank you for the love and support. And to you guys, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, John Fu, for coming here and
Greenside.
telling us these wonderful stories.
Greenside Records.
Greenside Records. We want to thank you for paying John Fu money and taking him on tour. But all the rest of you guys, follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. It's at the Chino Brothers on all that stuff. And hopefully this week we'll get a blue check mark, Adley, on Twitter. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. That's it. John Fu, hang out in the green room.